Hi everyone, thank you to everybody who joined our Facebook Live this morning. We are really happy with the turnout. Thank you for purchasing our kits as well. Me and Pip have really enjoyed putting them together and experimenting. So I know that the quality of the Facebook was not so good this morning. So what we're going to do is do this YouTube so that you can have it at your leisure really. So the first project we did this morning is what I call the Steampunk Grunge. Paul, can you see that? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So this is using Stamperia clay, it's using paints, it's using primer, and it's using the texture impression molds. Now the kit that we've provided you, we will put a link at the bottom so that if you want to purchase it you can, or if you've already got the projects you can purchase projects you may not have, or just for your inspiration to use with other projects as well. So let me get started. So what I've got is, we've given you two covers, so you've just got the white blank, white grey board covers. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to primer it with the gesso primer paste from Pentart. So this is a very thick paste, so the best way to do this is have your brush so it's wet, and then just take this and then just go in. All we're trying to do is just get a dark background, so that's all this is about. So let's go in and let's do this. So just coverage, and then what we're going to do is we're going to dry this off. Now primer doesn't take that long to dry, so it's not a really big problem. So I'm doing this in real time. We will probably speed up some of these bits which are not so interesting, just so that you can see them. So it's our first time really trying the Facebook Live, so you know, bear with us. Paul, our little technical guy, well, he's not little really, he's quite tall actually, he's
Pulling his hair up.
pulling his hair out.
What little of hair he's got.
He's got no grey hairs, but I think by the end of today he might have. So yeah, so primer it, make sure you don't have to primer it if you don't want to. If you want to leave it white, that's fine too. But you may have to then use two colours of paint, whereas I've actually made the kit so it's easy, cost effective, full size pots of everything. So it's really nice to work with. We will be doing a lot more of these YouTube videos because we feel it's the best way to add value to the products that you purchase, but also to share some of the accidents, techniques, experiences, experimenting that we can do. So let me just lean across for my whoops, he fell off the chair, literally. Whoops a daisy, I think my sister wanted to put it so far away. So let's just dry that. So any hairs, and just move those away. It's fine, it adds to all the texture. So it doesn't take long to dry. Right, so once we've done that, then you were given in the kit a mint matte acrylic paint by Pentart, 50 mils. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and let me take a smaller brush because I find it's more controlling, and I'm going to basically take some of this mint and just dry brush it, so not too much, not too heavy, just take it in the background. Obviously you can do this with different colours, but the kits we've given you is got this mint colour in, so it's just a matter of just doing these so you've got this really lovely beautiful sort of patina effect just by doing some dry brushing. So that's it, so we've got to this stage. Okay, so this is already all the items other than the primer, which most of you have, are in your kit. Okay, I'm just going to give that a quick blast. Okay, so that's it. It doesn't need a lot, so it's just a matter of just giving it a quick blast. Now what you need to do is, we're giving you a full size again, 160 grams of the Stamperia clay. So most of you are familiar with this, you've used it, and basically what I'm going to do is take a little bit, you don't need a lot, put it back in the box, because I always put a baby wipe in and I put it back and I close it. This way it will stay nice and fresh. So what you need to do now is, we've also provided you with, oh, where is my sister put it? A 20mm Pentart pen. And I can't see it at the moment, but I'm sure it is around somewhere. But I'm going to use the Express glue, which is what I've provided you with the 20mm. Oh, sorry, here we go. So you've got this already in your kit. Then I've used doing this. So, thank you, Paul. So what you now need to do is just put some of your glue. Let me use that one because I've stuck the nib in this one, I remember. Let me just do this. So, oops. So you've got the glue coming out. Yeah, you don't need a lot, just need enough. Now the reason for this is the only way the clay is going to stick. Otherwise it will just fall off. So just do a little dry brush, just put it down. Doesn't matter if you're over. So you're just going for the corner. Right, I'll just put that into this water. So you can see I've got two here. So the whole idea now is, this is more raised. I've used more here. This is less raised. So again, now you can actually have a feel of what they look like. Okay, so let me get on with that. So we've got the glue down. Get your clay. Don't handle it too much. Start with pushing it down. Just pushing it down, pushing it down. Now this is the technique. And then what you start to do is you start to rub downwards, so that you can then basically take this clay, and there is no rights or wrongs, so don't worry about that. It's best if it's as smooth as you can get it. If you have any problems with it, then just so I don't want so much on the sides, then you can actually use a brayer, you can use a bottle. So what I'm doing here is, I do want mine to go to the bottom. I want it to be thicker at the top, and I want it to be thinner at the bottom. So hopefully you can see that I'm doing this. Now if you have a problem and you want to wet your fingers, you can do that, say if you have any reason. But I don't think you will. The clay is very easy to work. This is a great technique with this clay. We've got a new clay available, which is great as well. I haven't tried it with that, but it gives you a really nice impression. It is an air dry. But it takes a little bit longer than this because it is actually a clay, whereas this is paper based and is more crumblier. So now what you've got to do is you've got to push all the sides out, and any you've got left over, just put them on just to add texture to your project. So this is a way of blending this, because without this you're not going to get the blend you're looking for. Okay, and you don't want it so it looks like it's not actually a part of your work. So again, blend away. And this is it's really therapeutic. So let's put a bit of that there, and then I'm going to just flatten that. And then now you can take any mould. Now I've given you the kit with the steampunk mould. Now you can do this with any of your moulds, impression moulds that you have. You could probably do it with the rubber stamps from Antonis as well. So you can see, I think it's a bit too thick for me, so I'm going to take a little bit away from there, oops, but I'm going to put it down a little bit over here. I want to show you the difference that it makes when it's thinner, when it's fatter, or thicker I should say, not fatter. So you can see, look, so if you wanted to cover a box, this is a lovely technique to cover a box. So here we go. There we go. So we're doing a really nice technique. So at home, take your time, enjoy it, play with it, and just see all the different techniques. Right, I did it with the steampunk on the Facebook Live, but I'm going to actually change my stencil, even though Paul kindly did give me this steampunk one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use 514, I believe, and this is the impression molds. I love this one. We did a really nice technique. I don't know where my sister took it, for stamping with it as well earlier. So, which is great, and it gives you really lovely texture. Oh, thank you, Paul. You're so kind. So that's what we created by using 2 Distress inks plus the VersaFine. So you can just see that. Yep. So that's great. So now you have a raised bit and you have a flat bit. Some of you are probably familiar with using the cream paste, using the modelling light, and we also use the modelling light with some of the beautiful delicates and glamours, so you can see the different effects. But we'll be showing you how to do this on another video. So, okay, sorry Paul, did I move it? So let's go, look, feel it, you'll see it. If you can't get your fingers into it as much, so you'll know which is raised and which isn't. Right, so I'm going to start off. Now you can do this however you like.
So it's raised side down.
Raised side down.
Okay.
So press away, because this is what's going to give you your image. Now you can do it the other way as well. You can do the image the other way, but you won't get the indentation you're going to get with the raised bit. Now when you fill it, you always fill it with the non-raised bit. My dad yesterday filled it on the opposite side and couldn't work out why we were using so much paste. So these are the sort of things that happen to most of us.
He is new to mixed media.
He is new to mixed media. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Now, if you haven't put glue anywhere, it will lift. So be aware of that. So can you see how that definition is? And when you start to build on that, you will see. So I want a bit more down the bottom so I can just see. Bear in mind, if you've got any writing on your moulds, it will come out reverse, because you're doing the reverse of the mould. Obviously when you do it with the cream paste, that won't. Now wherever you haven't got, if you've got some come out, just take it out. Either take it and put it back on your project, or take it and just put it back in your box. Don't waste anything. So what I want to do is obviously put this in the water once you've done it. I want to just show you all the different techniques that you can do. So if there's any reason you feel your clay hasn't quite stuck down, you can always go over it with the with the Pentart Express glue. But I think I want to do a little bit more here, because I don't want it not to have design on it. Okay. So I'm just going in. These are really flexible, so you won't have any problems. And let's do a little bit of a wing there. So that probably can be dropped in water. Thank you, Paul. And now what we've got is a beautiful definition of this beautiful mould. Now we did it with steampunk before, and now you've got it with the butterfly. Now let's bring this to life. Now the best thing to do, I found, it's again up to you how you want to do this, is first give it a dry. Now it will take a while to dry, so in the meantime what I'll do is I'll show you some of the other techniques as well. And this is the main technique I wanted to share with you today. I mean, this obviously takes a while to dry, so we're getting there. So, and again, you could combine combine different techniques. So I'm going to go in with the primer black paste. So let me just dry that off a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with it just a little bit. We don't want a lot. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go in and highlight. I mean, obviously at home, please make sure your clay is really dry, because if it isn't, what you're going to do is you're going to start to lift it. Okay, so this is all we're doing, is just going in with that. Now just have a look at that, and you can get a feel for it. So if you feel you want it a bit darker on some of the edges, then go in with it a bit darker on the edges. It really is. So now where it isn't stuck down, you will get that. So just be aware of that you need to let it dry, you need to stick it with the glue, because otherwise you are going to get bits coming off. But it's not the end of the world, because it's very personal to you. So let's just do a little bit more. So I just wanted to share this with you. So just make sure you always wash your brushes, put your lids back on, stops things drying out. Right, now we're going to go in with that beautiful mint. Now first thing I need to do is just give this a quick dry. Because we don't want the black and the mint sort of going murky, because that's not really what we're going for. And this is where it really starts to come to life. And obviously you can use other products, you can use sparkling gels that we've got, which is what I've done on some of the projects. So you've got loads and loads of different things to do. Okay, so here we go. We're just going in with some of the blue, not much, but some of it, again, highlighting bits, doing bits.